tips you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
Thank you for tuning in. 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, the Weather Channel and the meteorologists in general are talking about something called Invest 99. And I think that Invest 99 labeling is a Weather Channel thing. I'm not really sure if the National Weather Service is using that. But anyway, there's a system out in the Atlantic that looks like it's heading our way. And it does not look like it's something we really need to worry about here in Central Florida. Of course, you never know. But what they are saying that does sound like it could be an issue is that it could cross over the peninsula of Florida. We'll get a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, no big deal. But then if it goes into the Gulf of Mexico and strengthens, can you imagine if right now, after all of the flooding in Louisiana, if they get more? Can you imagine if they get more? I mean, this could be Katrina Part 2. Mm-hmm. If you were living here in Ocala in 2004, which I know was a long time ago, 12 years ago, but a lot of you were here, and I was here, and you were here, and I remember, all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, even though I lived here a long time, I actually was in an actual hurricane and thought it would be cool. It was not cool. It was bad. And in addition to the damage it causes, it also creates issues with the drinking water, and you see this all the time. I mean, there was a story in the Veterans Show that would just talk about Camp Lejeune. The military folks there are now coming down with some diseases from that unfiltered, contaminated water that was up there. We spoke to Dr. James Hubbard yesterday by phone and invited him to come in this morning on the phone, actually. He's known as the Survival Doctor, and we're going to talk about his book called The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook, What to Do When Help Is Not on the Way. And I like that title because, FEMA is the name that we insert. Superman. FEMA is Superman. Well, no, FEMA's not Superman.
Right.
FEMA might give you a little help, but they're not going to, and it doesn't come quick. Dr. James Hubbard, good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Where are you right now?
I'm actually in my hometown of Oxford, Mississippi. I just moved here. I was living in Colorado Springs for a number of years. Now I'm back here.
Oh, wow. So if this storm comes through the state, over the state and up through the Gulf, I mean, you're right in the target. How's the flooding where you are right now?
I'm in the north half of the state, and so flooding is unlikely in this area. But just below me, about 100 miles or so, yes, there's flooding.
Yeah. So tell me about the book. What to do when help is not on the way. I love that subtitle.
Well, I'm a long-time family doctor, practiced in small towns and also in large areas, and over a period of time, I've learned a lot from my patients about what to do, what they do when help is not on the way, and I've also just with all these disasters in the last few years that just come up on the news, I just thought, okay, this is a good way to teach some people some common basic type of knowledge to get by, either when help is not on the way or if it's going to be a long time coming. And so I tried to get in there not only some basic knowledge, but some things to do, later on. There's not always something great to do when help is not on the way and you have a medical problem, but a lot of times there are things you can do. And I put all that things that I've learned and things I learned from my patients and tried to get them in this book.
So if we could learn the things in the book, for example, this horrible earthquake in Italy, I don't want to make light of anything, but just imagine if you were there and you're in a building that collapsed and you're okay, but somebody else you were with is now bleeding what's the word, profusely, Robin?
Yes.
From their arm or something. I mean, would the book help me if I learned what was in the book? Would I know how to stop that bleeding?
Well, hopefully so. The book, I try to teach some things that you should know, almost like a reflex, and one of them is the bleeding. I've had so many people that have come to the office over the years, and they're bleeding, and they're not doing anything. They're just in the panic brain mode, and that's probably what you'd be in if you were after an earthquake. You'd be kind of numb or something. But if you get these down almost kind of as a reflex to do, if you see bleeding, put direct pressure on it, then you're going to, you'll know that's the thing to do. Now, if you had something, it'd be nice to have some sort of a cloth or something to put on, or try to protect yourself from the blood of the other person, but put direct pressure on it if you can. There are other things I have in the book if the direct pressure doesn't work that you can try, but 90% of the time, even for bad bleeding, that's going to work.
And do we not do tourniquets? I remember when I was a kid, there was a first aid kit, and there was a tourniquet in it. And I think since then we've learned that you could lose a limb if you don't know how to use a tourniquet.
Well, things have turned back around a little bit. Yes, it's possible you could, but that's one of the things you could do if you don't have if you can't stop the bleeding with direct pressures. You can use a tourniquet, and with the recent wars, and we always get some insight, at least medically wise, in some of these wars, and we found out that tourniquets, you can keep one on for quite a while without losing a limb. It depends upon really the trauma that's already happened to the extremity, to the arm or the leg or the hand or the foot, that's going to really determine whether you lose it or not. So yes, as opposed to losing a life because of bleeding, a tourniquet is a really good idea.
Okay.
And with so many people being displaced in Louisiana, they're being held in cramped quarters. So that's another way for diseases to spread.
It sure is, and that's a good point. People who are that may end up being in cramped quarters for some reason, like if you're in hurricane land or you're in flooding land, you should have little things on hand to help you with that, because you could definitely get some problems. You should have some things like, you should have some water, a little bit of water to take with you just in case. There are other things that you could have on hand to that are pretty easy to get that helps get some of the bacteria and things out of water. There's a thing called a life straw that you can get that has some filters in it that would help with that. Easy to carry. You should have some sort of antibiotic type cloth or one of those waterless soaps or something with you to keep your hands clean. You should have some tissues with you, and maybe a mask just in case there's something going around, like the flu might be going through that area. Have a little bit of things for the kids to play with if you have some kids. And there are some other things. I have a post on that on my site.
What is the most extreme thing that you would possibly need? Like some people have actual shelters ready to. I remember in our younger days we had fallout shelters in your backyard. Remember that?
Yes.
Now they have tornado shelters. There was this horrible tornado in Indiana yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So if you knew it was coming, you go downstairs into the ground and you wait it out. You might come back up and see everything's gone, but at least you and your family are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's certainly you should. It's not kind of the my part that I dwell on, but obviously, if you have a disaster in your area that's likely or that that might be coming on, have a plan. Know what to do if an earthquake if you have an earthquake. At least give yourself a little bit of odds on surviving it, and same with hurricanes, same with tornadoes, things like that. Have you a place for tornadoes to go to think, well, okay, I'm going to go here. And of course, a shelter is by far the best. And you have little basic supplies in the shelter.
People have dealt with mosquitoes for a lot of years and haven't been concerned, but now with Zika, especially in Florida, everybody is really aware of that and really wanting to know what to do to try to prevent any mosquito from biting them.
Yeah, that's true. And some people, one of the things some people do, there are some people who will prepare too much and be too afraid, and some people won't do anything. And I've had some of those come in. Mosquitoes, like you said, it's not like Zika is the first thing that's been going around with mosquitoes. There's almost always something in some area that mosquitoes are transmitting. West Nile or one of the encephalitis problems they can give you, a lot of things. And so you should know about mosquitoes and obviously try to avoid them. Some mosquitoes, not all, but some like the dusk and the dawn the best. So that's two ways if you can stay in to stay out of that. If don't sleep with the window open unless you have a good screen and there's no holes in the screen. If, people who are camping should consider nets. There are good nets out there. You're probably not going to want to wear long sleeves and all that in the heat in Florida, so get you some mosquito repellent. There are a lot of good types out there. You can go from the DEET, which is good, and although a lot of people would say, critics would say it's not very safe. Well, it's been out a long time, and there are not very many side effects from it. But if you don't like that, there are others. The others work more natural, maybe. They just don't work as long. They maybe work 30 minutes an hour or so, and you'll have to reapply them, especially if you're sweating and things. Yeah. But there are things out there that you can use. There's clothing that you can get that already has some chemicals in there that will keep mosquitoes at least from getting into the area where the clothing is. Of course, you'll still have to put something on on the rest of your body.
Do you have a tick problem? We have a tick problem.
Yeah.
Not every place here, but there are some places you can guarantee that if you've walked through the area, you're going to come home and you better check yourself for ticks.
Right.
Oh, I know it, and yes, I had forgotten about the ticks when I moved back here, and so yes, we have ticks.
You forgot about them.
But you go out, like you said, there's some areas you go out and you're going to have a tick, and ticks, definitely cause problems. Lyme disease. It seems like there's always, every few years, is coming up with another disease that ticks can cause. Yeah. There are some new ones out there now that they're talking about. So the main thing is look when you get out, when you get done through the day, look at very, very carefully and see, do you see any ticks? One thing you can do is wear light clothes so you'll see the ticks on you, but boy, they're sneaky, and they'll get anywhere on you, and they're sometimes so small, you just got to really, really check. If you get that tick, the sooner you get that tick off, the less even if it's biting you, the less likely you are to have in some sort of infection. They say there's a different times on Lyme disease to say that somewhere between 48 to 24 hours or something like that that you get that tick off, your chances go down very, very small before you get.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that. Yeah. Dr. James Hubbard is our guest. His book is called The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook. If you're watching us on the streaming video or on the whether it's live or on YouTube, you'll see the cover of the book right now, The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook. The website that I went to get that picture is thesurvivaldoctor.com. And we will continue speaking to Dr. James Hubbard on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Thursday will be partly sunny with a thunderstorm around, only in the morning at the coast, in the afternoon elsewhere, the high 88 to 92. And partly cloudy Thursday night with a late night shower along the coast, low 72 inland, 78 at the coast. For Friday, times of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly in the afternoon over the interior, the high Friday 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. Do you have a gout-ridden toe or bowels that move too slow, creaky knees, or how about an asthmatic wheeze? Then acupuncture is sure to please. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566. That's 352-615-5566.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson with Verizon. Do you have teenage drivers or elderly parents that drive? I have what you need. It's the new Hum device by Verizon. Plugs directly into your car and sends alerts to your cell phone on the location, speed, and driving habits. And you set boundary alerts. You can call and speak live with an ASC certified mechanic. And if you have an accident and can't respond, Hum will automatically send for help. All this and more for just $10 a month. And if you're in Marion County, I'll even deliver and set it up for free. Call me 352-528-0020.
20 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Dr. James Hubbard is on the phone. His book is called The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook, and his website is thesurvivaldoctor.com. Doctor, I want to tell you a quick story, if you don't mind. We have a show that we do here on Tuesdays. It's a half hour, and the host of that program is a local mechanic. And he said his wife called him up one time, and she said to him, do you have any old, unused, or you're going to discard spark plugs? And he said, yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. Why? Oh, because I want a piece of the ceramic, because if you take a piece of ceramic from a spark plug, you can break a car window, and I want to put it in my purse. In case I see a dog or a child in a car, I'll be able to get the child out. And he said, come on, you can't break a car window with a piece of that. You can throw a rock at a car window and it won't break open. She said, no, I was watching these YouTube videos. So he was determined to prove that she was wrong.
Yeah.
And guess what? She was right. There's something about that little piece of ceramic that if it hits the window, it'll go right through it. And so I was with him at his shop. And I heard him say that, and I said, really? And he could see that I was doubting him. So he walked me to the back where he had this old car. Mm-hmm. He got he broke a piece off of a spark plug, walked back there, and doctor, I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. It just shattered that window like nothing.
Wow. You just never can tell, can you? And I think that also brings to the point, I've been married for 40 years, and don't doubt your wife. That's the other thing.
So I mean, I don't know that this is going to happen very often to anybody, but once in a while you hear stories of people who drive into a pond, and it's impossible to get out of the car. They have to break the window from the inside, and help will arrive, but not right away, not before you're dead. Oh, yeah. How do you advise people how to get out of a car that's in a submerged vehicle?
Well, that's again kind of out of my range on an expert, but I would. There are little things you can use in the car. You know, I mean, there are little things you can buy, or you could just get a little hammer or something like that, so you could break out the window. And yeah, if you have what he said, that would be great too, if you can find it and all that. But then I think you try to. I read different things. I think that you probably try to roll down the windows if you can immediately, and just try to get out. But I don't go on my expertise on that. You have to go and just make sure what the latest is on what to do if you get out. You still have a few minutes. You have some oxygen in there if all the windows are rolled up.
Does the book cover heart attacks and natural things that happen to people?
It does, and unfortunately, things like heart attacks. People, okay, what do you do for a heart attack? You know, what do you do? How do you survive? Well, there are only certain things you can do. I mean, and then the rest is up to time and how bad the heart attack is. But what you do is basically what you would do if you had a heart attack anyway. And help was on the way. If there's no problem with taking aspirin, you would take some aspirin. Next, you would lie down, and you would, if somebody's with you, you'd try to get some oxygen, at least some good air flowing and that sort of thing. And this is kind of what we used to do before all the interventions we have, which are now great. But what we used to do is get the person, bring them in. We would monitor for arrhythmias, for irregularities of the heart, which you couldn't do. But we'd give them oxygen. We would give them something for pain. We would let them rest and just give the heart time to heal. So that's basically what you would do. Rest and let your heart not be doing too much work, and give it a few weeks if you could, and try and let your heart heal. And it's certainly possible to survive.
Since you're a survival medicine expert, are you able to let us know what types of plants are good for something if we're out in the woods camping and we take the bare minimum of things?
I know the plants. I can kind of tell them. It's up to you to try to figure out what they are. As for instance, poison ivy. You get some poison ivy on you. If you get the oil off right away, then your likelihood of getting the rash and everything goes down quite a bit.
Okay.
Well, there are some things out there, plants that grow in the same area as poison ivy, and if you don't have some soap and water or something like that to get them off, then you can rub yourself good with these, and a lot of times it will get a lot of that poison ivy off of you. The only thing is, you better be sure you know what this plant looks like, and you're not rubbing poison ivy plant on you. So
really?
Those types of things. There are things out there that. Basically, what I would do is try to have some things, some natural things already available for you, but there are some things out there, definitely there are some plants out there. The question is being able to recognize them and go from there.
Your website is very, very complete. Oh, my goodness, you've got so many things on here. I would encourage the listeners to go to the website, thesurvivaldoctor.com. If a bear is attacking you, if your barbecue grill goes up in flames, if you have been bitten by a snake, oh my gosh, you've got so many things. I'm just kind of scrolling. When a scorpion sting turns deadly, I had a scorpion bite me one time, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was like but for me it was like a bee sting. So are some people allergic to it and other people are not, like a bee?
Yeah, scorpions are in general are not as bad as you would think. Think about them, and yes, you could have allergic reaction to those. You can have allergic reaction to snake bites, actually. But there are only certain scorpions, and they live, in southern Colorado and New Mexico, that sort of thing. We're talking about the United States.
Yeah, right.
And that can be deadly, and even those sometimes are not. But if they are, if you get bitten by one, you may need some antivenom. These things that are deadly, they're little small scorpions. They and they're kind of yellowish or grayish, and 2 or 3 inches long, and they'll bite it, and you'll feel the sting, and then. Still, I mean, just a few percent die from that. Obviously, that's a few percent too many, but still, in children under 5, about a fourth of children can die, and older people. As always, when you think of risk and things like this, it's the young children and the older people, and that's the same with these. And I think they live in like New Mexico, Arizona, southern Colorado, California.
If you go to thesurvivaldoctor.com and you click on the books link, you will see the Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook where you can buy it. Underneath that, you'll see other books that he's written. I like this title, Duct Tape 911.
Oh, there you go.
My gosh, you can make eyeglasses with duct tape?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of using things, like you're saying, for plants. I'm a big proponent of using household items, kind thinking outside the box and using them for medical problems. If you have a little bit of knowledge, then you can improvise a lot of times. And duct tape is one of my favorites, so I wrote a book about that. And I've got several surprising things about that. You can close a wound with duct tape. There are other steps you should go through first on cleaning it, and then that sort of thing. But you can close it. Eyeglasses. Again, you don't have to have the duct tape, but it's one of the things you'd have handy. What you do is put little pinholes in either pinholes in tape or.
That's what I wondered. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing if you nearsighted, put a little pinhole in the paper or something like that. Look through it, you'll see that you can.
That's amazing.
You can see much better.
Doctor, we are out of time, but I have enjoyed the interview so much. Dr. James Hubbard, thank you. The website is thesurvivaldoctor.com. The book is The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook. Check out the book link on his website. There are other books too that you'll probably want to get. Thank you, Doctor. What a great interview. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. In the race for the White House, Donald Trump leveling accusations against his Democratic rival.
Hillary Clinton is a bigot. Mr. Trump is now accusing Hillary Clinton of using minority voters just to win elections.
Fox's Peter Doocy outside Trump Tower in New York, where Trump holds a Republican leadership roundtable today.
Trump is going to sit down with some millennial and minority field operatives who are getting ready to go out to swing states until November. They were recruited by the RNC as